And we're back with Going Corn live from the Taka House. It's been a fun season here at Going Corn. Fun season 5 for Leroy. No Caleb today. Caleb decided to not be on the recap and the awards show because he didn't want to talk about himself. Thank the Lord for that. So instead, we have a very wonderful guest today and maybe another special guest coming in here and there. But I'm going to introduce my co-host for today, the narwhal to my buddy the elf, Jackson Buzea. Welcome to the show.
Hey, Leroy. Thank you for having me, Greg. It's a pleasure.
No problem, man. Good to have you. Good to be with you all season and now on the recap show. Thanks for helping me out.
Definitely. Ryan Vogus, I'm going to call him over for a couple answers, but he looks a little comfortable for this dog over there.
Yeah, we're at the Talk House. Vogus a little upset because he didn't feel invited, even though it's his, house too. So, but anyway, we'll see if we can get him in here and there. But so I'll tell you what we're going to be doing this show. We're going to be recapping the season a little bit, talking just a little bit about what happened and all that stuff. Talk about the championship because we have not had a show since the playoff preview. So that's just the nature of getting busy here when a lot of seasons are wrapping up. And then we'll go over awards for Leroy. Not going to be a lot of surprise there, but we'll have a couple awards that will have some, winners that are not Caleb. And then we'll have our first ever Going Corn Awards. So, so let's start off. Jackson, how did you feel playing in Leroy your first year here?
It was a lot more fun than I could have ever expected going into it. I didn't know the talent level because I just really knew the Yonkmans and the Detmars and Dykstra from playing against them last year in our little scrimmage. Mm-hmm. But there's a whole lot of talent out there and just people that want to play wiffle ball every Wednesday. So it was a really great time. And, played all 20 games, which I never did in my own league. So
it's crazy.
Yeah, it was definitely a highlight of my week every week.
The Narwhals organization was very happy for that fact.
It was a great season with the Narwhals.
Yeah, it was very fun. And we were able to bring on a lot of other people. Brought on Chris Bartley, another Taka guy.
Oh yeah.
We tried to add Vogus to the mix. Just Tim wouldn't let go of him, but that's okay.
Yeah,
we couldn't put the Taka Narwhals
Tim
together.
Was being very rude about it. Just send us Vogus next time, Tim.
Yeah,
come on.
Just do it. Just send it to us. But I think it was a great season. A lot of GBL guys seem to enjoy coming out to play. Was that your thought too?
Yeah, like me, Tuck, Gags, Vogus, all of us, every single week we were just out there, and it's obviously a lot different than Griffle Ball, but it's a great change of pace from Griffle Ball.
Yeah,
I like to play both of them every single week, and it's a really great league. I don't know if any league could compete with it in the country for fun and competitiveness week in and week out. Awesome.
Yeah, and I will say a lot of us, the limited amount of us that were there from Leroy and Griffle Ball this year, we did have fun. Had an unfortunate bounce out in the first round, but Taka advances, so I can now root for Taka without any hesitation there. So congrats to you guys on that. Any thoughts on your upcoming series against the Ninjas in the World Series? Will Taka go back to back?
That's the hope. I wouldn't put anybody against Vogus in the playoffs pitching. I think he's the best playoff pitcher in Griffle Ball history. So when he's on the mound, I have no lack of confidence that we're gonna win that game.
Nice. Yeah. Should be a good series. Ninjas played pretty well. We'll see if Kuna can turn on that 100%. Oh, Vogus is saying Taka in 5. That'd be quite the accomplishment, I think, that to beat them in 5 and win 4-1 over them. That was a good team, but yeah, we'll see if Kuna can somewhat throw, what he did those last like 3 innings against Leroy there. I kind of didn't believe it when they were saying he was only throwing like 50%. I'm like, oh, okay, well, yeah, that's crazy.
Definitely has the best arm in Griffin ball history. Caleb throws gas, but Kuna just it's just another level. It just looks easy when he's throwing his hardest, and I don't understand it. Yeah, that's the crazy
thing. It was like the same motion.
Yeah.
It just throws now. Okay,
I mean, he's
30 miles faster.
He was a D1 pitcher, full ride scholarship, so he definitely has the arm velocity.
Wow.
So we're facing 2 Griffin Ball Hall of Famers, if there was a thing, in the World Series with Sammy and Kuna and a couple of good young guys. So hopefully Taka go back to back.
Yeah, that'd be nice. Should be fun. I'm going to try and get out there myself. We'll see how things work out, but that's the hope for it. So school's starting up for me soon, though, so we'll see if I don't have stuff to do on Sunday to try and prepare for the week. But yeah, so let's start off with some of the Leroy awards. Oh, so let's recap the playoffs. So we had the Truckers that came out of the death bracket. They beat us, the Narwhals, just because Jackson was sick, but that's okay. Wouldn't have beat us otherwise. And then they went on to beat the Hawaiians. And then in a meaningless game, the Narwhals played the Clams, which was a joke. The Clams. Yeah, because Kyle Schaff actually played. Matt and Matt and Lucas Meadham were batting left-handed the whole time, so that was fun. So
did those stats count?
Apparently so, according to Tim. We always think Tim's going to count all the stats for everything. So at one time we thought he was going to do it for the playoffs or All-Star game, yeah. So you never know with Tim. You got to actually figure out, and then he'll just mess around and say, "Oh yeah, we are," and then, "Nope, okay, maybe not." So yeah, and then the Truckers played the Liners, and Liners 1 and 2. Badgers played the Dusters. Badgers 1 and 2. I think it was a sweep all the way around. Yeah, or no. The Sultans lost to the Bombers in 3 games. And then we had the brothers matchups in the semifinals. What were your thoughts on that, Jackson? The brother.
There was it got very contentious, to say the least.
That's a good word. Word of the day.
Yeah.
Very contentious.
Did
you catch either of those games?
Yeah, I was watching it on the Facebook Live, and a lot of yelling, a lot of pacing up and down the first base line. It was very fun to watch.
Yeah. So, both those games were really close, really heated. The Bombers Sluggers went to 3 games, and Sluggers prevailed there. I think they hit a walk-off in that one, too. Yeah, they had a walk-off single. That's what it was. And then Liners 1 and 2 won big the second game, which set up a very epic matchup of the Sluggers and Liners. The 1 and 2 seed, I think that's the first time in Leroy that's actually happened, that the 1 and 2 seed. Is that surprising to you? That the 1 and 2 seed has never faced each other in the championship?
So, obviously I'm a rookie, so Eric and Brett won it last year.
They've
right?
been on the same team for like 3 straight years. Yeah,
they won the
2 before.
Last year?
No, the Bombers played Caleb's team in the semifinals.
Okay.
So the Badgers played the Bombers, which had Eric Brett and Colin Lottenbach.
It's a pretty good team.
Yeah, so so that was, and that was a lot of controversy too, was because the Bombers, I think, were the 4 seed last year, and they got to the championship. And the Badgers, I think, were 3, maybe 3 or 4. I can't remember. Oh, they were 3 because the Dutch Ovens were 2. So, yeah. Oh, rest in peace to the Ovens. My team. Yeah, I single-handedly put them in the grave. What do you think about that, Jackson?
At
least I didn't cost my team the playoffs this year. I only gave up 1 run. Al gave up 2, so.
I don't remember much about that game, to be honest.
Yeah, I know. That's what you told me. But yeah. So back to the championship. Our own Ryan Vogeson here in the room commentated most of the game. Thank goodness for that, because Tim was a little crazy that night. So, but it was a great series. Went to game 3. They were down. Liners were down 2-0. Come back and win 3-2 in that final game. A lot of contentiousness too of the whole darkness situation. Did you catch any of that the last inning there when it was very dark there, Jackson? Did you see that one?
Wait, are you talking
the championship game 3?
Oh, I didn't see any of the darkness factor.
The last game?
I kept cutting in and out.
Okay.
So I did not see.
Yeah, it was like pitch black. And
really?
Yeah, we had the lights on, but it's hard to see in the outfield at times. So
yeah, I seen the last inning with Caleb's walk off. Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it was really dark. So that was the thing. Probably could have been caught.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they were.
Oh, okay. Because Caleb's hit on Facebook.
Yeah,
Live
Caleb's was definitely
line drive right up the middle.
No, his was the pop up.
Oh, really?
Justin's was the one that was was a line drive that went right past Jason. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, you couldn't tell from
it was,
the
yeah,
camera.
It was but so that was a big thing there, but ended up working out for the Liners there, so they win their championship with a team of Caleb, which is his second championship, and then a team full of rookies, so Alec Urlock, James Hayworth, and Justin Deckinga. I'm pretty sure that'll be the only team with 3 rookies to ever win a championship ever. So first for all of them, so congrats to them. Slugger's a really good team too. Can't deny that. They played really well, so it was a great championship game. I think a lot better than last year. Last year was a couple blowouts. So yeah, that'll do it for that. So let's get into the awards for Leroy, and then we'll take a little break after that before doing our Going Corn Awards. So the first we're going to talk about. So let me preface this real quick and just say all the awards Caleb won. So, and then we'll talk about the teams, so like the top 5 from these, and then we'll discuss it a little bit. It's a lot of the same people though. So Caleb won, Mr. Leroy his second, Iron Man his second, and that I'm pretty sure we've only had them for 2 years, so there you go. MVP, this is his 4th one, 4 straight. Batter of the Year, 5th straight, and we've only been around for 5 years. Pitcher of the Year, this is his 3rd out of 5. And then he could not win Rookie of the Year, Most Improved. So even though he increased his salary by $3, that's still insane. But anyway, so the all Leroy team, which is skill and attendance, was Caleb, Eric, Brett, Garrett Lytle, first time for him, and then Jackson Buzea. Bada bing, bada bing. So, yeah, and then Iron Man was Caleb, Eric, Brett, Garrett, and James Hayworth. So, Iron Man is just attendance, so that factors into at-bats and, innings pitched. So, for a while, James, I think, was their number 2, and then he ended up having a lot in the playoffs because playoffs count towards these awards. So, good for him, though. Any thoughts on either of those teams? A lot of usuals, right?
Yeah, all of them
expect.
are very talented players, and obviously their teams went far in the playoffs.
Yeah, and that's the one thing I will say about these awards. Sometimes I think it's like, we have them, and they're not just done right after the regular season. There's the whole postseason, too. So if you play more games, you can move up on the list. Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of that, but that's all right. All salary team, which is the MVP, that's how it's determined. Is skill is Caleb, Wes, Jackson, Garrett, and Eric. All salary team, this is the first for everyone except for Caleb. So then batter of the year, we have all batting team is Caleb, Wes, Jackson, Robbie, and Jared. Jared comes back after, and Robbie's, this is his second. So Wes and Jackson got their first. Robbie got his second. He was on the all batting team in 2014, and then today in 2018. And Jared went 15, 16, and 18, was not on the all batting team last year. And then pitcher of the year, all pitching team was Caleb, Brett, Eric, Garrett, and Alec or Locke. Shocking there. Don't know how that happened. Yeah, well, I'm not saying Alec wasn't, but... Okay. Talking about Bumble over there.
Ryan Vogus.
We're not trying to turn into...
9 bubble matches.
Yeah. Are we trying to turn into Family Divided podcast? I mean, the problem is Jackson and I agree on a lot of things. Cubs, Packers. It's, yeah. Family not divided. A family
Good one.
united. So, okay, next is most improved. So, of the finalists, we had Justin Deckinga, James Hayworth, Rob Warren, John Edinburgh, and Garrett Lytle. All had great seasons. And the most improved was... Jackson, you want to announce this one for us? The very bottom.
Most improved was Justin Deckinga.
Justin Deckinga from the Liners. Congrats.
Lake County Liners.
So, to give you a little background, Jackson, he was $13, and I think his salary was about $28 this year. So, a pretty good hike. What do you think about his season?
Yeah.
Vogus not a fan of the salary. Let's just put that on the record.
I've only seen him this year, so to hear to hear that he was 13 last year is very surprising because he was definitely a solid player year round.
Yeah. I think so. I think he, had a pretty good season. It does help that Caleb was behind him. If you saw Austin Warner's numbers, his numbers kind of dipped because he was on the Liners, and then he lost Caleb in the field, and I think that kind of hurt. But, yeah, pretty solid season from Deckinga there. And then the all rookie team was Jackson, Alec, Wes, James, and Jim Tucker. Couple of my favorite GBL guys on there. I wish we could have had my second favorite Vogus on there, but just didn't make it. Yeah, maybe next year. But I think he played 18 teams. So, yeah, I don't think this was a close one. Well, I mean, if you ask Caleb, he'll say, but no, this wasn't close. It was Jackson. Congrats, bud.
Thank you.
Yes. So, yeah. Yeah, he is a very he has a very soft spot for his partners. But
Alec
congrats, Jackson. You want to give us a
Alec
little
does
speech?
throw about 15 miles per hour faster than I do. I'll give him that.
Well, he's younger, so
that is true.
I'd like to see Jackson at 20 years old.
I kind of threw hard. But yeah, I am very happy to get this award in this great league of Leroy wiffle ball.
Wonderful. So we had a Leroy person win Rookie of the Year in GBL, and then we had a GBL player win Rookie of the Year in Leroy.
I'm a Leroy player.
Oh. At Griffle Talk, your thoughts. So anyway, we're going to take a short, quick break, and then we're going to get into our Going Corn Wars. We're going to talk about kind of the format and the thought process, and then we'll get to that on the other side. All right, and we're back for the other side of Going Corn. Going to introduce our Going Corn Awards, first ever. How excited are you about this?
I am so excited.
I can tell. Very. So this is a total, open-ended thing. Through the years, we may change categories. We may do different things. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to introduce the category, or I'm going to go over each award first, and then we'll do, we'll talk about a little bit the nominees for each one, and then we'll announce the winner. Now, I did put on my Going Corn thing that it was not that a fan vote would be a portion of the vote. It was not 100% of the vote, though. So just because it's the leading vote getter on the Going Corn thing doesn't mean it won. So please pay attention to that. I don't want to get added about 1,000 times saying, well, this is higher than this. Well, too bad. I said it was a percentage. And I will not reveal how votes were given. But there's a few.
And you have to leave a little mystery to the podcast. If if it's just a Twitter vote, everybody knows the winners.
Exactly. You betcha. Shady's what I live for, bogus. So we have best hashtag. We have best defensive play. We have best moment, best angry moment, best journeyman, guy who was on a bunch of different teams. Best wiffle newcomer. So if you're new to wiffle, that way we just didn't give it to, some of the, GBL guys as much as.
What's up?
Yeah. playing wiffle for years. Yeah.
Used to be.
Best jersey. The Not Caleb Award will round it out, and that is the MVP of the league, as voted by other people, and of course the secret amount. So, and that's where we look at not Caleb. So, actually, we don't have to say Caleb won this, and this. Make it a little more exciting, huh? What do you think? Yeah. Thanks, Vogus.
He's very good at wiffle ball, and it ruins the awards.
Yes, that's true.
He should be worse next year.
Yes, he should. We all agree upon that. So, we have 3 things for each category, except for jerseys, because people started throwing a fit about the truckers thing. So I added the 2 other teams that had quote-unquote jerseys with the Badgers. That was being the main one. So anyway, first off, we got hashtags. So we had and these were the top 3 as determined by me, of just like hearing people say them, seeing them around, seeing them used on Twitter and stuff like that. So we had For Wendy, which was the Sluggers hashtag. We had That's Clam, a playoff of the Cubs, That's Cub. And then Be Noble, which was from, of course, your Noble Narwhals. So the Twitter vote had it 46 and 46. So from my secret voters, it was determined that, and yeah, I know I'm going to get a lot of crap for this one. It was Be Noble. Be Noble is the winner of the best hashtag. Thank you, Vogus, for supporting that. I think a lot of the GBL guys adopted it. I know a couple from our national team said Be Noble a lot as they hit home runs. So even your narwhal over there, Mr. Buzea, even said it one time when he hit many of his home runs during the tournament. So.
Yes.
Yeah.
I said it a bunch of times.
Yes. Well, and then T-Walk started saying it, so it picked on.
Yeah, T-Walk saying it doesn't make it better.
I know, but I was just trying to think of more people that, were saying it.
And what tied with it in the Twitter vote? That's Clam, I'm guessing?
That's Clam, yeah.
The only person I've ever heard say that is Dykstra. And I know I threw around Be Noble a whole lot.
Yes.
And
Gagliardi did.
And I even heard Mitch, who only says about 5 words every single week. I heard him say Be Noble a couple times, so that should win it right there.
Yeah. So if there's a controversy, whatever. So, all right. Best defensive plays. I mean, we can talk about these more because they'll actually have some meaning. Caleb robbed Tim twice, and that was in the Liners Truckers series. Twice in 1 inning, which was... Did you see those plays?
It kind of gets forgotten, but Caleb actually robbed me in the first inning also.
Oh, yeah. Caleb, if you didn't hear that, Caleb did rob Vogus in the first inning, too. Yeah. Yeah, Caleb had a lot of robbed home runs in the playoffs. Yeah, he had a couple in those. Yeah, he had a great defensive series there. But yeah, the robberies of Tim were the ones I highlighted there. Hayworth flies over the fence. That was our only highlight play of the week, which was supposed to be a weekly thing, but it was still a very good play. He, I believe, it was on PNC. Jumped over the fence, flew over the fence to steal a home run. Do you remember seeing that at all?
I do remember seeing that one.
Yeah,
It's very impressive.
thoughts on that one? Good.
Yes, he is a player that goes 100%, even though I seen his knee at Griffin Ball this week, and it was popping out. So
Yeah, that was.
He got hurt when I played week 2 with the Liners. He went down and I had to carry him off the field.
Yeah, James kind of gets hurt a lot, and I think he gets a little worried because of his knee, because he's had ACL surgery before. So, yeah, it was bad. Yeah, it was.
Ryan doing his best Bo Hofstra imitation. He said his knee got turned around.
Oh yeah, we got to repeat everything since
They did
Bogus
not
won't come
hear
to
you.
the table. So, anyway, and then Brett steals Slugger's home run. That was, I can't remember. I think it was either off of Brian or Garrett. I can't remember which one, but that was a pretty big home run he stole. He took it away. It was in that playoff series. So the winner. Did you see that one? By the way,
I actually did see that one,
Yeah.
and it surprised me because Brett is a very calm guy, and I never see him have the fast twitch muscles all the time because he's just striking people out on the mound, and that was very impressive.
Yeah, it was definitely a fun play to watch happen over that series because it was. And then Eric promptly robbed him like an inning later, but it wasn't as good because Brett actually, I think, went over the fence or he like knocked down the fence trying to get this ball.
Yes, he did.
So, and that was your winner. Brett robs the Sluggers home run. So congratulations to Brett on that. I don't think there was much. There's great plays. We just talked them out a little bit. I think that was in the spot too. That was a pretty big. When did Caleb go over the fence?
No, Mr. Yonkman.
Mr. Yonkman.
I forgot about that.
Oh, I didn't even know that. What?
Ryan Vogus is talking about Mr. Yonkman going
Joe
through the
Yonkman.
fence.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I remember when he. Oh man, I wasn't there for that week. If I would have known that, that would have gotten That's definable honorable mention.
It doesn't matter. That's a
Hey,
That's that
that's
Badger
honorable
hustle.
mention right there. So, yeah. So, next up is best moment. I put my 3 home run game. I think just because of the sheer amount of fans, I think that's kind of why, and me not hitting many home runs. Jackson, do you know how many home runs I actually hit over the fence before that game?
Oh, how many?
1.
You know,
It was
you
in the playoffs last year.
just needed the good morale, you know?
Yeah, that was the first week Jackson was on the team. That was our first win. We got against the Bombers, 2 in 1 inning. So ended up, I think, with 6 RBIs. So pretty good game for me. I ended up hitting a home run in the next game too. Apo Taco.
Oh, yeah.
Eric going off on TV against the Liners. He had 6 home runs that game. That was an insane game. If you caught that one, I think he had like 11 RBI too, so that was a crazy one. Did you catch some of that? Were you around when that was?
We were playing the same
Yeah.
time, but I remember people talking and saying that he had like 8 RBIs in 1 inning or something crazy.
Yeah, it was crazy. He just went off, so that I definitely had to be there on that one. Tapper takes Brett Yard, so Tapper, I think on the second pitch of the season from Brett on his fast pitch stuff, hit the ball over the fence. I think that was one of the most memorable moments because that's when we still posted videos on YouTube. But
That was still being talked about at the Leroy All-Star outing. So
it was,
It
yeah,
definitely stayed in people's memory.
yeah. And then Caleb's walk off in the championship. Vogus not a fan of that.
He's too good. He shouldn't win any more awards.
Yeah. Yeah, so but people voted as such because that was the third place option. Yeah, well, I thought it deserved to be there.
Definitely does.
Can't take away from that moment. That was a
biggest hit of the year.
Yeah. So
fast pitch.
One on the ship.
Yeah, I think he got painted the pitch right before, and then just said next pitch, winning the game, and he did.
Yeah. So the leading vote getter was Tapper takes Brett Yard, and through the determined secret vote. It has not changed. It will stay. Tapper takes Brett Yard. I think that was, yes, congratulations. I think that was kind of the defining moment because, like you said, it stuck with a lot of people. People are still talking about that like really late in the year. Brett will always say, "Oh yeah, he just closed his eyes," blah blah blah, whatever. But fact of the matter, he still hit the home run. Doesn't matter how you hit it. So. You can be late on a pitch like Matt Kuna yesterday and hit a grand slam. We learned that out, and he even said, I'd rather be lucky than good. So, sometimes you need that. So, congrats to Tapper on winning that award, and sorry, Brett, for being on the receiving end of that. So.
It's really a compliment to Brett because not many people are taking Brett's fast pitch deep. So,
yeah.
It's a compliment both ways.
Yes. So... Great moments there. I think that one kind of started off the season really well. All right, so best angry moment. So we'll start off with all of Jack's bat tosses. This got 0 votes, so that's. I kind of wanted some to vote, to make it so there's actually 4 on most of these. I forgot about that, but a lot of them didn't get any votes, so I probably should have just had it at 3. But yeah. Jack, if he strikes out or anything, he always tosses the bat. That's like a guaranteed thing. We used to have a player that did that, and he'd throw it like over the fence, like that he was playing, and he'd just throw it over the fence every time. Every time. I mean, are you a bat flipper?
I used to be a bat
GBL
thrower.
You are a little bit.
Now every now and then I'll throw it against the GBL dumpster, but.
That dumpster takes a lot of beating.
I don't get quite the distance that Jack does, so that's pretty impressive.
Yeah, so that was the last place one. Eric punts the base over the fence. That was in the championship game. Or I think it didn't go over the fence, actually. I think it hit the fence. But same kind of... He grounded out, and we called him out, and he punted the base into the fence. Yeah. So... See, it's great. I love this award because it's like you can just laugh at some of the stupid things that people did over the season. Tim's flipped bench, which came after the second robbed home run of the inning from Caleb.
So, I didn't see this.
Yeah.
Tim almost hit 2 home runs in 1 inning?
Yes.
What?
Yeah. I know, right?
Congrats, Tim.
Yeah, congrats on having both of them robbed and then being in this category.
Now he's probably going to tweet me.
Bogus, we could use some of your insight on this one. No. Okay, he'll sit over there still.
The trucker does not want to talk about his leader. His respected leader.
Fearless leader. So, and then, unfortunately... The Greg bench flip.
Yeah, I seen this one.
Oh, did you?
I did.
Oh, jeez.
Me and Vogus were standing right next to each other.
Really?
Yep.
Oh, goodness gracious. I'm still glad you're still okay with my team to sign on.
All right, so my first week in Leroy. That close? All right, so my first week in Leroy this year was week 2. I wasn't able to come out to week 1. And I just remember seeing this guy get out and just run over and throw a bench about 5 feet. And these benches take 2 people to move. I was like, holy shit, this dude's a maniac. Turns out he's the nicest guy in the league, by far. But that was definitely the best moment. And if these secret voters don't vote it, it's going to be a travesty.
So thanks, Ryan Vogus, for joining the podcast, just to mention that one. Out of all the things he chooses to join, he chooses to join on that comment. But, yeah, not the best moment for me, but that's all right. I can look back and laugh. I think it helped me throughout the season because I kind of, took a step back, relaxed, and, I ended up doing okay. I didn't have a great season, but at that point, so to give you a background on that bench flip a little bit, we'll tangent here for a few. So week 1, I gave up 24 runs in the innings I pitched, and I didn't even get an out in one of those innings. Actually, 2 of those innings. And one, I gave up 8 runs while getting 2 outs. So that was definitely not a fun thing. So, that was week 1. And then week 2, we lost the first game 23-0 to the Sluggers. And we had 1 hit there. And then I struck out against Kyle, Kyle Tapper, Reinhardt. And he also kind of, as he threw the pitch, he said, sit your ass down as he threw the pitch. And then I proceeded to strike out. So, yeah, that was kind of the backstory on the flip. And I also had the statistically worst player ever to play in Leroy. So, it was not a fun day for me.
Does he know what a spherical object is?
Questionable. He said he did play baseball in high school, but his swings and his throwing made me question that. I mean, okay, let me be straight with everyone. I technically played baseball in high school, but I was also the stats guy for 4 years. In the 4th year, I got a couple pity games to play. That's kind of how that worked. My coach liked me, so he gave me that. So, yeah. So I realized kind of my skill level. I just kind of wish if that was the case with this kid, he would have admitted that. But no, he did not. And unfortunately and fortunately, I guess I win. Best angry moment of the year with the bench flip. It was an overwhelming Twitter vote. It was 75%.
Well deserved. Well deserved.
75% voters out of 24 people. Oh my goodness. So, moving on. We spent too much time on this. Best journeyman. So, guy who played on a lot of teams. Unfortunately, 2 of the people on this list, Grant Reinhardt and Kyle Tapper Reinhardt, brothers, both kind of in the same situation. We're on pretty much almost every team. I think they were on 8 teams each. It was a rough season for those guys. Hopefully expanding. We plan to expand. Hopefully that can get them on some teams. And then the third one I voted for was Jason Hilligans. I think he was on 3 different teams, I believe. He was on the Dusters. He was on the... Yeah. Wait. Well, no,
you were
not
on 3.
counting free agency.
Yeah. Because then I would be on 3. And I'm a stud.
Oh, nice. I like it. I like him starting to talk some smack. So, yeah. And then Jason was there. He played on the Liners. He played on the Dusters. He played on the Sluggers, which he finished with.
And 1 game on the Narwhals.
Oh, jeez, yeah. Let's not talk about that one. We should have won that game. Yeah, he could have taken a 10-pitch single, but he did not. That's okay. He had a good season. He was a real good, addition for the Sluggers there. He had a great season. So, overwhelming Twitter vote and secret voters agreed. Tapper won the award.
Yeah, Tapper.
We like Tapper. I think he, the thing that always gets him is his hitting is always good. He always hits some home runs. That's why he's called Tapper. He just does some tapping. And then, his pitching's not so great, but able to win this award. So the people love you, Tapper. So don't fall off.
The thing about that award, though, is all 3 of those guys, that's how Leroy is great, because even though they're switching teams, they still show up every single week.
Yep.
And they still want to play on no matter what team they are. That's what sets Leroy apart from other leagues.
And you know what kind of sucks for me looking back at this? Hey, Ryan Vogus, you want to know how you got signed to the Truckers? It's because Grant Reinhardt showed up every week for the Truckers for the first couple weeks, for the first 3 weeks, and then he promptly dropped him for you. So, Yeah, so that was a very contested thing too.
You want to know another thing? He has a jersey. Ryan Vogus doesn't.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna bring up. That was like a contention point. Was he bought his jersey? He's like, whoa, what do you mean? I have a jersey. You made me pay for this jersey. And then Tim just goes, do you want your money back or what? He was ruthless. So, best Wiffle newcomer next. We had Alec Gerlach, Mitch Gerlach, so Liner and Narwhal there, Cam Verlon, all three from the same kind of branch there. Hayworth was friends with Verlon. Verlon got Mitch and Alec there. So big shouts to there. And then Jeffrey Kozlowski, also known as Kaz. He has a lot of names.
Yes, he does.
Joffrey,
not as much as Brian Travis.
Oh, yeah. Trav, Tex. Yeah. He lived in Texas for a couple of years. That's the behind that. Yeah. So, I mean, he could have been on this list, too. I think it was really, when I was thinking about votes, I think it kind of came down to a couple different people. You could throw Kyle Schaff in there, too. Like I said, I had to do down to 4. One was a hometown vote, honestly. I think Mitch had a good season, but I think there's a lot of people that probably would have been above him. But I think it really came down to, and the Twitter votes agreed, it was between Kaz and Alec Gerlach, and this one also agreed with the Twitter vote, and Alec Gerlach won Best Wiffle Newcomer, so congratulations to him. Very good player. He rose his salary from $29, which is still very good, to come in and play for 2 weeks, be at $29, never played wiffle ball at all, and then just all of a sudden, wow, he moved up to, he was almost at $50. I mean, that's how incredible he played towards the end of the year. So, thoughts on Alec?
He's a stud. I mean, he has a really good arm. I remember he played 1 week with the Narwhals, and he had a good arm and couldn't find the zone because he was so new to wiffle ball.
Mm-hmm.
But, I mean, once he found it, he's right up there with, like, not the best pitchers in the league, but the people that you could depend on.
Yeah, oh yeah, like a number 1 on a team for sure.
Yeah.
He
Like,
he might not be a ace.
Not a Caleb, not a Brett, not an Eric, but like...
Not a Jackson.
Well, yeah.
I'll say it. That's fine. I'll say it so you don't have to. So, but yeah, Alec definitely had a great season. He was up there in like a lot of MVP talks. He was a for sure all-star. Great guy too. Yeah, having him on the Narwhals for that 1 week was very cool.
Yes, it was.
Helped us win a game. So
yep,
we split that week as well. So yeah, next up we got best jerseys. So the original was the Narwhals, Truckers, Sluggers, and Sliders, and then after a lot of complaining about the Truckers being on this list, even though they had legitimate jerseys and not just shirts, the Badgers and Dusters got put into this because a lot of people wanted to vote for the Dusters. I think one person voted for the Badgers in the second poll, so 1 or 2, something like that. So, but so it came down to the Sluggers, Sliders, and Dusters somehow. Again, I think it was just a lot of that end vote. The winner is going to be the Sluggers. The Sluggers. They had some very good jerseys. Congrats to them. Yeah, they also were able to get a sponsor. They got the Hoosier Haulers, which is Garrett's dad's company. So they were able to get a good sponsor in, and their jerseys looked really nice. So they were actual jerseys. They had stripes on them. Your thoughts on the jerseys? Did you like that pick for?
Yeah, to me it was a 2-team race. Obviously, it's all preference. The Narwhal blue is the best color in the world, and the Sluggers I love those jerseys. Those are perfect. So, those are my 2 favorites.
Yeah, and so I don't think there's much to talk about with jerseys there. So we'll just go on to the final big award, the big one, this one will always stay the Going Corn Awards. This is the Not Caleb Award, the MVP of the league. That's not Caleb, because we want to actually, and he'll say it. He'll probably just be like, oh, yeah, give people a chance to win. Yes, Caleb, that's the point. Want to recognize some other people besides Caleb all the time. So anyway, we had your finalists were Robbie Zanstra, Eric Detmar, Jackson Buzea, and Wes Ellis, as determined by me. But I think a lot of people, I don't think you can disagree with those. Some other consideration, probably for John Eddingberg was probably close up there for the Sultans. That was a sad case too. They had to break up that team.
Yeah, that you hate to see that going to the playoffs.
Yeah, they drop everyone out of the roster right as they're getting ready to go into the playoffs as the number 2 seed.
Everybody knew the salary rules.
Or 3 seed, actually. Yeah, I know, right? Yeah, he kind of kept baiting Tim to like, oh, what's Tim going to do? And then he wouldn't let him play. So
yeah,
that's what happened. But all right, so the Twitter vote was kind of close, but still almost 50% of the votes and the secret voters all agree. Jackson Buzea, MVP. Well deserved, my friend. The not Caleb MVP. What, you have some words? You take home a couple of awards, the Rookie of the Year and now the Going Corn inaugural MVP, the not Caleb.
The not Caleb MVP.
Yes.
It's really cool. I mean, there's a bunch of studs in this league, and I mean, all the people that were in the vote, if they would have won, nobody could have said that it was a bad pick. So
yeah, I agree. I think a lot of people would look at it and say, these are the ones on the team, these are the leaders of the team, and did a lot for the. And if you look at value, I think Jackson on the Narwhals brought a lot of value to the team. Eric had Garrett. I mean, Garrett probably would have been up there too. Eric and Garrett were very good for their team, but they were, they shared that load and they were able to help. Robbie had a great team around him as well, and Wes had Jared. So, but if you look at the Narwhals just had really Jackson, and that was sometimes what the offense or the pitching was to help us out. So thanks for that, Jackson.
I wouldn't say that. I would say
season.
The 3 Narwhals, me, you, and Mitch, we all had up and down seasons once we all were a team.
Mm-hmm.
And if one person wasn't playing good, the other person was. So it wasn't just like I was carrying the team, because I had a couple bad weeks where Mitch or you would come up with clutch hits and I wouldn't. So we just couldn't put it all together at the same time.
And that's why you're awesome. Even now, you're still saying that it was a team effort. But yeah, it was a great season. Congrats. And that's going to do it for our awards for everyone. Yeah, so good crop of first-year award winners. And thanks to Jackson, we're just going to start rounding this out here. Thanks to Jackson for co-hosting with me today.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah. Thanks to everyone this season. Thanks to Caleb for being my co-host on regular. Thanks to Ryan and Jackson for letting me come to their house and record this tonight.
Anytime.
Yes. Wonderful. And also thanks to Tim and everything he does for the league, and all the people that came out this year. We had a great season. Love to see you all back next year. Hopefully have a few more teams and get more people playing, and just have another fun, great year in Leroy. So,
can I do a Griffle Ball plug real quick?
Yeah, for sure.
Anybody who wants to play on the weekends next year, get a hold of me, Vogus, Greg, anybody that's played in Griffle Ball. And if you want to play, you are in. Brand new draft, you're all welcome. So anybody who wants to play, you're welcome.
Yeah, it's going to be a fun, exciting year for Griffle Ball, too. If you want to check out Griffle Ball, it's, what is it again? At Griffle Ball? Just at Griffle Ball on Twitter. Check out their World Series. Check out how they do it. it's definitely a lot different, but it's fun too. It's still got its perks to its league too. You know, all of the leagues here in Indiana are fun in their own right. So, yeah, definitely check them out if you want to come play. We play at, Bridges, which is a great place if you want to just eat, go have a couple drinks after a win, or, take care of a loss by drowning your sorrows away. It works both ways, right? So, hopefully, and we're working on a deal to get the fence away from them so they can actually have a fence that stands up. So don't let that deter you if you see those videos and the fence falls down.
Yeah, we're going to fix that fence somehow.
Yes. We are ingenuitive. I don't know how to say that. I messed that up.
Sounded good to me.
Yeah, I know, but didn't work out. That's okay. But yeah, we'll figure out something for that. But yeah, it was a great time all the way around for Indiana. Orville was fun. I will be getting a ring for Maple City Magic. How do you feel about that? Vogus gives the reluctant clap. I had one at bat for the Maple City Magic.
I bet you it was a great at bat.
Yeah, it was a ground out to the pitcher. So yeah, that was. No. I still know how I won Manager of the Year in Griffle Ball, but I'm very pleased.
Leroy saved the Griffle Ball this year.
Well, I got people to show up according to T-Walk, so that's
and you brought talent every single week.
Yeah, I found somebody to come out. So, yeah, so that's going to do it for us from Going Corn for this season. You'll hear me and Caleb on Two Wiffle Dudes. Woo! Be sure to check that out. We'll be having, I'm sure, some more GBL and Orbital guys and a few other special guests. So thanks for tuning in this year. We'll see you next season. This has been Going Corn.